our sixth storyteller. Please help me welcome Will Young.
So Helena's dragging her feet and she's hanging her head as we walk up to the amusement park. She's my younger daughter. Super high EQ, values relationships, which is very, very different from her older sister. Very high IQ, super analytic, borderline robotic. Now, my kids are so different that I basically need to be a different dad to each of them. The problem I run into is that the more I give my attention and effort to one of them, the more it necessarily takes away from the other. And so balancing that give and take is what I do as their dad, sometimes unsuccessfully. Foreshadowing. Now, the reason why Helena's upset is because the night before we go to the amusement park, my analyst discovers that there are height requirements for all the cool roller coasters, and that Helena's about 4 inches too short. And like a big sister, she kind of twists the knife. I'm sure they'll have a babysitter for you while the rest of us have real fun. And for a kid that needs it to be a group activity, a family activity, this is devastating. So me, the dad, I see this happen, and I decide I'm gonna focus my efforts on Helena, make this day happen for her. That's why as we're walking up to the amusement park, and she's dragging her feet, she's doing so in platform shoes. And when she's hanging her head, she's doing so with a high ponytail. Yeah, I'm a dad, all right? The fashion sucked, but the utility was... So we get up to the gate, and I pull her aside, and I teach her how to slide her shoes up, or her feet up in her shoes, so she can stand on her tiptoes with no one noticing. And I'm pleased to report that that morning, she is a Busch Gardens official 54 inches. I wish my ex had reacted like that. She loses it. It's not safe. This has to be illegal, which... I mean, it might have been. I don't know. But safety schmafety, when you see the look on Helena's face when she gets that green bracelet, it means everything. And so I keep focusing on Helena. She gets to pick out the rides, and she runs from ride to ride with the rest of us in tow. She gets in the front row of each ride, hands up, screaming, laughing, and by the time we get to the last ride, she's just having a ball. And it's the Mach tower, 350 feet tall, drops you straight down, one of those rides. And I lean down and I tell her, hey buddy, this is the biggest, baddest, coolest big kid roller coaster of all time. And she turns around with this smile that hasn't left her face the whole day. She said, Dad, this day with you guys, with all of us together, has been the best day ever. Nailed it. But there were things I was missing, right? Like how wide Selah's eyes got when she saw what 350 feet looks like in person and not on a website. Or how she covers her ears as wave after wave of grown adults stumble off this ride right next to us screaming for their lives. And so now it's our turn, Helena, me, Selah. And the guy comes and he pulls the comically large harness over Helena. He's like, are you sure you can ride this? I'm like, yeah, it's not illegal. It might have been, I get it, but we start going up. And over my shoulder, I hear Selah crying. She said, Dad, I can't do this. I have to get out of here. And I turn and she's just bawling. She's so scared. And I realize what happened, so time to flip. I put on my analyst hat and I tell her, remember, we looked at the website. It's 104 seconds on this ride. We go up 350 feet, we spin around, we come back down. But this doesn't help. She starts getting more and more scared. And Helena picks up on this, and like a good little sister, she kind of twists that knife. You know, if you fall, you actually have a heart attack, so you won't feel yourself splat against the ground. Don't do that! And Selah's like, is that true? And I'm like, it is statistically improbable that you will fall off this ride. We get to the top and it starts spinning and this countdown starts. 10, 9, 8. And Selah closes her eyes and I'm like, you have to keep your eyes open. It'll feel a lot worse in your stomach when you drop. And 7, 6, 5. And she's crying and she's so tense and she stops breathing. And I'm telling her, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. 4, 3, 2. Nope, it's supposed to do that. It's still like boost your adrenaline. It makes the ride more fun. But at this point, she's gone. She is terrified and she can't even move, and I'm squeezing her hand and I'm doing everything in my dad power to get her through it. Everything in my dad power. And we're just hanging there, 350 feet above the ground, dead quiet. And I hear over my shoulder, Dad, this harness is way too big. I don't feel safe. And whoosh, Now, I'm pleased to report that no children were harmed in the making of this story. Physically, I mean, emotionally, they are destroyed and they will never go on that ride again. But the one time on the Mach Tower taught me a very valuable lesson, and that's that no matter how much time and energy I give to one of my kids, I always need to take a second and listen for what's going on with the other one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Will Young.